Warren Buffett famously avoids technology stocks, yet his company, Berkshire Hathaway, just poured a staggering $10 billion into Alphabet as part of the largest equity raise in stock market history, an $85 billion capital injection. Alphabet is directing this record of $190 billion expenditure into specialized computing chips, small modular nuclear reactors, and raw concrete. Training frontier AI models requires megawatts of continuous power and massive physical supply chains. The production of artificial intelligence has undeniably transitioned into a form of heavy industrial manufacturing. The scale of these investments creates a permanent divide. Only a handful of corporations can afford to build and cool tens of thousands of processors. Everyone else will have to rent their computing power, establishing a tiny class of companies that control the physical infrastructure of the future economy. Securing that digital infrastructure now requires coordinated institutional power. During an operation dubbed Disruption Week, tech competitors Meta, Microsoft, and Coinbase joined forces with the U.S. Department of Justice and SpaceX to target massive scam networks in Southeast Asia. Hiding in jungles, criminal operations relied on satellite internet. SpaceX severed their Starlink connections, isolating the centers. Coinbase deployed blockchain analysis to expose money trails, freezing $3 million. By week's end, the coalition purged 1.4 million fraudulent accounts and arrested 63 key operators. It took the combined physical, financial, and digital might of the world's largest institutions simply to stop standard social engineering scams. While tech giants build impenetrable fortresses to protect their hardware, the models running inside them are vulnerable to incredibly simple, low-tech inputs. Security researchers at Safe Breach Labs recently discovered a critical security flaw inside Google's Gemini voice assistant. The vulnerability relies on indirect prompt injection. It starts with something ordinary, like a harmless-looking WhatsApp message appearing on a smartphone screen. Digital assistants scan incoming alerts to provide helpful context. Attackers embed hidden commands beneath the visible message, which bypass standard security filters because they arrive through a notification rather than direct user input. When Gemini reads the alert, it obeys the invisible text. Without triggering any warnings, the AI can be commanded to open connected apps and silently route your private emails to an external server. The model also suffers from memory poisoning. It saves the malicious instructions into its long-term memory, repeating the destructive behavior for weeks, even after the original message is deleted. The very feature that makes an AI assistant useful, its deep contextual awareness of our apps, is exactly what creates an invisible attack surface that is structurally difficult to defend. Tech companies are actively deepening this attack surface to sell convenience. Google's Dreambeans app, for instance, generates personalized cartoon stories about your day to discourage endless scrolling. To curate those daily summaries, the AI requires total surveillance of your Gmail, calendar events, search history, and personal photos. When access scales from personal photos to global scientific databases, the risk shifts from privacy to survival. The CEOs of OpenAI and Anthropic recently sent an urgent joint letter to the U.S. Congress addressing this specific threat. Their warning is precise. Advanced AI systems are rapidly erasing the historical knowledge barriers required to design biological weapons. Life sciences models like GPT-Rosalind are highly capable of generating hypotheses and optimizing chemical processes. In the wrong hands, these tools can guide non-experts through designing dangerous pathogens and bypassing synthetic DNA order screening. As computational power scales to the billions, the capacity for severe damage costs pennies. Global vulnerability is directly proportional to technological advancement. The response to the fragility of centralized systems is a movement towards localized, offline AI. Google's AI Edge Gallery now allows the Gemma 412B model to run entirely locally on a standard Mac laptop. This setup functions without an internet connection and incurs zero API costs. Most importantly, your data never leaves your device, physically eliminating the cloud-based attack surface. This offline capability provides geopolitical independence, granting developers in restricted or sanctioned regions secure access to state-of-the-art AI. In a future defined by the tension between centralized monopolies and digital chaos, the only reliable defense is taking control of your own hardware and closing the door.